Chapter 22 Throw the Book. On their way to the library, a young woman with a light Filipino accent caught up with Zara. "Hey, wait up," she called. "Hello," Zara said, cautiously. "My name's Chiella." "I'm Zara," she said, shaking her hand. "I like how you stood up for yourself today. You let them know you're strong without trying to get into a fight." "Well, I'm not some guy with something to prove," Zara said. "I hope your guy doesn't have to prove anything over on the other side." "Me either. Jude is pretty smart, and he's no pushover, but he's not a fighter. I hope he doesn't have to learn." "Did you say Jude?" "Yes, his name is Jude." "Jude Kane? You know him? I feel like I know both of you. You are the Sparrows." Zara had to catch her breath and her step. "Yes? How do you know about us?" "I've read every post in the Sparrow Press. I know about the Sacks getting pressure from Camo. I saw the fire at Chillicothe, and I read about all the Sacks you helped. I can't believe you're in here." "I can't either." "What happened?" "The Sacks were shrinking and disappearing according to plan, but then suddenly they stabilized. Adams noticed. Eventually, it found out about the Sparrows, and then it found out who was behind them. We didn't think Adams had identified us yet, but when we came here to see about trying to help Jude's brother, we walked right into the trap." "That's why there hasn't been a Sparrow Press post in a few days," Chiella lamented. "They didn't let me keep my phone or my screen." "That's okay. When we get into the library, sit with me at the screens. I can show you a trick that will bypass security. You can connect to your proxy servers and post an article, and they will never know." "If you're from a SAC, where did you learn how to hack your way around security?" Zara whispered as they sat down. "I'm not from a SAC. I'm from Seattle. I used to be a network analyst for Camo. I noticed the mapping protocols were changed, and the plowing and planting machines were cutting into SAC land. I knew that must have been a mistake, so I managed to get in and correct the protocols. I found out the people who changed the protocols were not happy that I figured out what they did, and they were very unhappy that I was able to assume their admin profiles and recode the parameters. A few days later, I was here. I didn't have a lot to do, so I hacked my way out of this network, and that's when I found the Sparrow Press. Very good work hiding your posts, by the way." "Thanks. It must not have been good enough because Adams identified me pretty quickly," Zara said. "That was probably from the chatter between the Sacks. If they talked about you and Jude, Adams picked up on it. I doubt Adams was able to see your post directly." "So if I post from in here, Adams won't know?" "Not if I have anything to say about it." Here are some insights. For context, Jude and Zara are now in the National Detention Center, which is where Callum is as well, but they haven't seen him, at least not yet. Adams knows about the Sparrows, but Adams has not seen the Sparrow Press yet. It seems like everything that Adams has learned about the Sparrows and what they've done and who's behind the Sparrows, Jude and Zara, has really come from the chatter between the Sacks. It really hasn't come from the Sparrow Press itself because Zara's done a good job of hiding the Sparrow Press from Adams. The heat is on. The government doesn't know everything, but it knows that the Sacks are not failing the way that they were supposed to fail. In fact, they're succeeding and they're pushing back. And that is not going the way the government wants it to go. So the heat is definitely on. And of course, with Jude and Zara in prison, they're hoping that solves the problem. But we'll see what happens. The Sacks are definitely coming together now. Jude and Zara cannot be, they're in the detention center, so they're not out helping Sacks anymore, but they've already done so much. They've really started the wheels moving. They've put a lot of training materials out there. Obviously with the problem with the exams, a lot of the kids were able to get Marin Kane's study guides and pass those tests, and they kind of got over that hump. A lot of the Sacks have gotten direct help from Jude and got training from Jude, so they're able to sort of fix their power grids and keep up on their infrastructure. And so, everything that they've done has kind of planted a seed. So now the Sacks, knowing not only that they can succeed because of their help from Jude, but also knowing the threats that are out there because of the Sparrow Press, now they're coming together. They're starting to coalesce in a way they never have before. And that's going to be coming in handy because Jude and Zara are kind of stuck. But it might be that they've done enough with the Sacks that now it might be time for the Sacks to start helping Jude and Zara. So we'll see what happens in chapter 23. So hang in there and let's keep going.